So just grateful for that. I think I'm a pretty self-confident person. I think, when they started to pile up, I tried my best to, stay, locked in the spirit and, realizing like, I just got to be there for my teammates and they encouraged me a lot through it. So I'm really appreciative of this team and, them doing that because they didn't have to. But yeah, it was, not easy. It's something that I'm gonna learn from and, I'm, just grateful for my teammates for picking me up.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Being a former Rams fan and being from St. Louis and seeing them have all this success, I am very upset about this. So that might come off as a little bias. But anyway, let's get into it. Hey, if you know me, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series. Wow. Okay. Literally, the Bears game literally just ended like 2 seconds ago, and I clicked record. So we're gonna start with the Bears game, right? I thought the game was over. This game was not on CJ, or we'll get to CJ later. This game was not on Caleb. There we go. This game was on DJ Moore and Ben Johnson. DJ Moore has to keep on, and I'm sure if I find it, I can put it up on the screen. DJ Moore has to keep running and not give that defensive back enough time to break on that ball. That's what Caleb was wanting. Caleb wanted you to break on that ball and at least make a play on it. I'd rather you made a play on it and missed it than them intercepting it, and now they got time to go down the field. He put a Rashad Bateman where he just stopped running. You stop running in the playoffs? You stop running in the playoffs where everything is on the line, where you got a real chance to get to the Super Bowl if you could, real chance to win the Super Bowl if you can beat Seattle. And you stop running, you stop running. After Caleb Williams makes one of the best plays that I've ever seen in NFL history, and it's going to be lost to time because they ended up losing because you decided to stop running. You decided to stop running. I hate that, man. I hate that. Being a Baltimore fan and seeing receivers just not do receiver things, it just frustrates me, man. Caleb played his heart out to even make that possible, and you can't do something that's keep running. Now, the all 32 might show something different, or the all 22 might show something different, but for you to stop running is absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Ben Johnson running the same sweeps and run plays and not using your insanely athletic, gifted quarterback at the 2-yard line and running. I get DeAndre Swift is fast, but you got to run something off that. Now, I'm not Ben Johnson. I'm not an NFL head coach. He's a genius, but like I feel like his ego got the best of him right there. You could have ran a play action, a sweep, maybe a option sweep. I know we don't really run options in the NFL, but you got to run something better there than I'm just going to hand him the ball on fourth down, Swift make a play, beat him to the sideline. That's a good Rams defense there. That is a really good Rams team. You're not going to beat them with remedial play calling. And I feel like that was remedial play calling. This was an absolutely spectacular game. Like, every game, it's like, except for the Seattle game. And we'll get to that. Every game has been a banger. Every game has been a banger. Like, up from the time that Tyler Luke missed the kick up until now, 99% of the games have been bangers. It's been awesome to watch. But even before that, it was a defensive masterclass by both teams. But fourth quarter, overtime, offense got a little bit of going. And like I said, DJ Moore not keep running. Caleb Williams making a spectacular play. I know this is going to hurt to Chicago fans. But you got a guy. And we knew that. We knew that already. But we had questions going into the season. Is Caleb Williams really that dude? He got an offensive guy. And we realized that I might do my top 10 list. Caleb might be on the top 10 quarterbacks list this year. He might make his first appearance on the top 10 quarterbacks list because Lamar's not going to make it and Pat's not going to make it. So that leaves 2 spots. So we'll see in the offseason. But it looks like Caleb that won. Caleb showed he looked like Patrick Mahomes tonight. He showed us why he went number one overall. That was a number one overall type of performance. Now his numbers might not bear out how well he played in the second half. Let's see if his numbers bear that out. Caleb was 28 for 42, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Let's get to the interceptions. The first 2 interceptions were bad. I don't know um, how it looks on the all 22, but just from what I saw, those first 2 interceptions look bad. Caleb Williams is not throwing 3 interceptions. That's just not what he's going to do. So I wouldn't be too bent out of shape about that. That's very uncharacteristic of Caleb. I wouldn't hold that against him. Caleb played phenomenal tonight. And he showed y'all why he was number one overall and why he's a franchise guy. I have no qualms about Caleb Williams. I'm not putting this on Caleb Williams. I'm not talking bad about Caleb Williams because Caleb Williams played his ass off. So shout out to Caleb. So we got the Rams. The Rams are in the AFC Championship game. Another NFC West NFC West championship game. It's almost kind of like that's how it's supposed to be, you know. A part of me is jealous because the Rams should be here doing this, but I expect Seattle not going for that. You know what I mean? That type of game, Rams play that type of game against Seattle, they get waxed. I'm not gonna say you got to play perfect to beat Seattle, but you got to play a lot better than that to beat Seattle. Matt Stafford, the MVP, didn't look like Matt Stafford, the MVP tonight. Maybe for flashes, a couple plays, but that performance is not beating Seattle. But we'll talk more about that Wednesday. So we're just gonna go backwards. Do not have, you know what? Let's just find the numbers for Caleb Williams, or not Caleb Williams, for C.J. Stroud. So I think we all know C.J. Stroud wasn't good today, right? C.J. Stroud, 20 for 47, 212, a touchdown, and 4 interceptions. C.J. Stroud has to reevaluate himself this offseason and get himself together. He played better in the second half, right? In the second half is not, to me, I wish I had his second half numbers, but to me, the second half truly was not on CJ. CJ did everything in the second half not to screw it up, but score touchdowns. But like at this point, when you've thrown 4 interceptions, you're a shot fighter at that point. You're trying not to mess it up. They had five turnovers when I stopped watching. They had 5 turnovers. 4 of those on CJ. And your defense only gave up 28 points. Your defense gave up 28 points, CJ. You had 16. If y'all would have scored 2 touchdowns instead of getting 2 field goals, who's to say y'all didn't have a chance to win? Because you take 14 points off their board. So I just feel bad for Will Anderson and Shazier and all them guys on that defense, because that defense deserved to at least compete in the AFC Championship game, and the offense ultimately let them down. The offense ultimately let them down. I expect CJ to be better next year, but he stood up and took accountability for that. But I expect CJ to be better. Rough outing for CJ Stroud. Rough outing. We was having conversations about him getting benched, like, because he was seeing ghosts. Just even on the touchdown, it was just a bad throw. It was a bad throw. So we're not gonna talk about the Seattle game, because the Seattle game, it was 41-6. That Seattle was that dude. He should be coaching. This is the Ravens if he didn't. That's what I got to say about the Seattle game. This would be the Ravens if the Ravens would have fired Harbaugh beforehand. So let's talk about holding Josh Allen accountable. So I should have pulled up Josh Allen's numbers beforehand, but Josh Allen was 25 for 39, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Cook 24 carries, 117 yards. Right. So as you can see, Josh Allen had 3 interceptions. Well, he had 2 interceptions. and 2 fumbles. And I think they scored on all of them for the most part, right? I'm not going to sit here and bash Josh Allen like I want to, but I'm going to, right? So we're going to get a mature version, and then we're going to get this is what he gets. So the mature version, Josh Allen did not play well enough to win. Four turnovers, and one of those turnovers was very turnovers. 4 turnovers in the second half, or 4 turnovers overall. And one of those could have been avoided when you ran to get the first down when you had no possibility of scoring. No possibility of scoring, right? And then in I think this is overtime of fourth quarter, threw a terrible pass, overshot him. That would have been touchdown. That would have been game. You missed that. It's just so many mistakes that Josh Allen is self-inflicting these mistakes on his team. Defense played great. Defense played phenomenal. They gave up 33 points, but you also scored 30 points. So the defense were getting stops when they needed to get stops. You just couldn't execute because your quarterback did not play well. And I know people are gonna come like, oh man, Lamar, yeah. I'm stating the facts right now. And so now we get into more narrative-based stuff. When has the last time you ever heard media apologize to Lamar, and when Lamar is upset, be like, "Oh, Lamar, you're such a great leader. We know you had a tough game, but it's gonna be okay. We love you. It's gonna be okay." That's what I'm getting from Josh Allen throughout the whole media. If Lamar would have had a game as bad like this, we would be cooking them right now. And I would be sitting here being like, hey, guys, it ain't that bad. Respectfully, I would respectfully be like, the game that he had wasn't that bad. The media is not holding this man accountable how they would hold anybody else accountable. My bad, guys. Something happened to the camera. The media is not holding this man accountable the way they would hold anybody else accountable. Josh is just the poster boy for it. But Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert as well. Justin Herbert not too much, because even me, I'm like, Justin Herbert, you know what I mean? Like, nobody could win with what he had going on there. But you're handling these guys with kid gloves when you wouldn't handle these guys with kid gloves any other time. I'm watching Shannon Raccoon Smith or Sharp talk about how we don't blame Lamar for his losses, getting all aggressive and all about it. But then when you talked about Josh Allen, it's like, oh man, you see Josh and the coaching and Josh and this, and the energy real different. The energy real different when it's one of our guys. And so you all like this, all in the camera. Nah, no, I'm Keith. I ain't got nothing. But I feel like I need to hold these dudes accountable. Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, Nick Wright, all of these bozos. They're going to come on camera tomorrow. I'm recording this at night, but when I post this, first take will be on. And they're going to give all types of sympathy to Josh Allen and then completely ignore Trevor Lawrence, completely ignore Justin Herbert like they did, like they've been doing, and not do the same thing with CJ. They're finna kill CJ tomorrow, rightfully so. CJ didn't play well. But if we're going to do that to him, we got to do that to Josh Allen. Josh Allen was terrible in overtime. Cook rushed for 117 yards. That defense was, I wouldn't say spectacular because they gave us 33 points, but that defense was good enough to win. That defense played well enough to win. But I'm seeing people write eulogies about Josh Allen as if Josh Allen passed for 5. It ain't like when Aaron Rodgers was dealing with what he was dealing with, when his whole team imploded and Aaron Rodgers was the MVP and he was balling like the MVP. And we're like, bro, I don't even know what happened. I remember coming on camera saying, bro, I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do with that. Like, Aaron Rodgers, can't nobody win with that. It ain't like Shannon Sharp brought up, Shannon, I'm fired up right now because this is sticking in my craw. Shannon Sharp was talking about in Tennessee when Lamar had that bad game. And then they don't talk about Lamar played better in the second half. That was his first start as a rookie in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. That was either his first start or the rookie his second year. It's probably his MVP year. Let's assume it's his MVP year because they were number one seed that year. There's a what you call it? There is a reel. There's a reel, and I remember sharing this reel at the time of Lamar Jackson receivers dropping every ball known to man, and we blame Lamar for that. Josh Allen goes out there and plays like hot garbage. Still top three quarterback overall, but this game he played. We talking about this game. Played like hot garbage, and we're like giving him kid gloves. And like we can judge quarterbacks on basis of them not playing well. That's not the problem here. And people are gonna make that the problem. People are gonna straw man the argument and be like, you defending one side. It's like the J. Cole apologizing thing. We excited about his album coming out, but you got niggas talking about, oh man, he gotta address the beef. No, he don't. No, he don't. If y'all don't care, if he don't have to address the beef. He addressed the beef twice. He addressed it twice. If y'all don't like it, don't listen. So with the Josh Allen Lamar Jackson thing, as I settle down, because I want that same energy. Either we're gonna have the same energy for both, or we're gonna have different energies for both and be honest about it. You see how at the beginning of this, before I went on to this rant, that I was able to break down what Josh did and what Josh didn't do and how he didn't play well and give him credit where he's due. Because they're not in the game if Josh don't go down field early in the game and score. They're not in the game. If they're not in the playoffs if Josh don't beat Josh. There's a reason he's in that category, right? But we have to hold Josh Allen more accountable. But for the dude on NFL Network to get up there, both of them, the black dude and the other dude, to get up on NFL Network and being like, act like they saying a eulogy for Tony Romo to be so upset that he can't even like speak when Josh Allen do something bad. For Josh Allen to miss that pass over the top and us not to call that out respectfully is a problem. We can do this respectfully without pushing narratives. Like, I talk about them all the time because I listen to them. That's how I get my basketball fix. Shout out to Numbers on the Board, the NBA podcast. Shout out to them. And I know they feeling this because they Chicago guys lost. Shout out to Numbers on the Board. They do a great job, and I know this is basketball, and this is NBA. They do a great job of talking about the game and holding players accountable without coming off as negative Nancy's. They do a brilliant job of this. I tell you something who don't do a good job of this, Bill Simmons. To me, Bill Simmons is the worst. Now, he's from Boston, Celtics fan. I'm a LeBron fan, so y'all can say what y'all want about that. But Bill Simmons is a terrible podcaster. If you would just be more across the board, people wouldn't feel this way about Josh Allen. Because I don't hate Josh Allen. I don't hate Josh Allen. I've always called him Cam Newton Jr. But the media make you root against them. And it's not even because of like anything else other than they just be lying. And they don't hold him to the same standards that they hold Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson to. That's the problem. That's the problem here. That's the major problem here. It's double standard. I'm a spoiler. Spoiler. I'm going to spoil you something right now. This summer, I'm going to put out some videos comparing both two because people are like, oh, Keith, you crazy. I'm not. The energy that Shannon has towards our guys versus their guys is absolutely ridiculous. And that's really all I got for you guys. There's really nothing to break down in that game. Bo Nix. Bo Nix is hurt and out for the season. Terrible. Bo Nix played a hell of a game. He outplayed Josh. I hate seeing this because Bo Nix deserves to finish his story. And for him to get hurt and for their season to, I'm saying I think the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. And for them, their season to essentially end with a Bo Nix injury and you got to start Jared Stidham, it sucks. That sucks, man. Like, I hate to see that. I hate to see that. So, who do you guys think is going to the Super Bowl? Let me know. Um, we're going to do a full video breaking down the conference championship games and what I think and what I don't think, and all that. So this is a long-winded video. So I'll talk to you guys Wednesday. Peace.